Hey everybody, my name's Nathan Harvey and I'm going to talk today about income inequality. It's not the most interesting subject, not exciting or anything like that, but I think it's something that America really needs to focus on before it becomes even a bigger issue. Uh, the gap between the rich and the poor in the United States has been getting larger and larger over the past, people would say, 30 years, with the top 10% of Americans now making 16 times more money than the poorest 10%. So it's a pretty big difference. Uh, this big gap like that is almost twice as much as some industrialized nations like Japan and Norway. And all the studies that everybody's done has shown that countries with big wage gaps like that end up having tons and tons of problems like obesity, violence, mental disorders, things like that. And if we look around, we can see that those problems are bad in America. Uh, the top 1% of Americans bring home 20% of the nation's income. Uh, it seems like for a lot of those people, they just focus on getting more and more stuff and getting better and better and better, and not really looking around them, not really trying to help the community, help the people that may not be as fortunate as them. Businesses send jobs overseas because it's cheaper, easier. The that's 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 a, that's ridiculous, I think, because there's still about 5% of America's workforce that's unemployed right now, and everybody's like, "Oh, 5%? That's not that bad," but it's pretty bad when you belong to the 5%. So I believe that businesses should try to do more and more here in America to kind of help the country, help America become what it was back in the day. Uh, the last time the wage gap was like this was back in the 1920s, which was pretty close to the Great Depression, and many people would say that we're about to have another one, but we'll see. Uh, it's getting harder and harder for people that are born to lower income families to bring themselves out of that, to bring themselves out of poverty pretty much. Colleges charge ridiculous amounts for tuition, and without going to college, probably it's very difficult to get a great paying job without going to college, and yeah. But the best thing I think about this is that even people that know that the system is messed up, that they know it's difficult for them to get out of poverty, they're still going to try because that's part of what the American dream is, and they're just going to keep trying and trying, and some get success and quite a few don't. Uh, Down to politics. I hate talking about that, but that's a big part of it. Government officials they continue with the tax cuts for the rich, and it's not fair the amount of taxes that the rich get as opposed to the poor. It's very hard to explain. Uh, but I mean, the thing is, the people that fund the campaigns for people to get elected, those are the rich people. So if somebody helps you get elected, then you're going to want to pay them back. You're not going to want to tax them because then they're going to get upset. Uh, the thing about politics is, especially in a democratic country, politics is supposed to benefit the many at the expense of the few. And right now it's doing the exact opposite. It's hurting the many. It's hurting the many at the expense of the many. Pretty much, it's not serving everybody equally. So I think there's lots of programs in place now that are trying to help with this problem, but I think we need more, and I think we need to rework how we're looking at the whole situation. We need to focus on unemployment and even underemployment in the country. Underemployment can be just as bad. If you have a job that doesn't pay you enough to live, that's almost the same as being unemployed. We need taxes that are more favorable to poor people, and we need more jobs in America. And we also need it to be easier for people to get the education and the skills that they need to get a good paying job. Uh, everybody everybody gets mad when you start talking about helping the poor. To some extent, they call it socialism. They're like, oh, that's not how America is. It's supposed to be capitalism, all that. But I'm not asking for that. I'm just asking for an equal playing field, if you will. I'm asking that we just help people that aren't doing as well as others. so we can help the whole country. Essentially, if you help the economy of the country, everybody's going to do a lot better. Uh, and I think it should be a little bit easier for this American dream that everybody's talking about. Everybody needs to kind of work together to make sure that if you work hard, you're going to be able to live comfortably. Uh, that's all I got. Thanks, you guys.